Daddy. What are you doing?
Putting some stuff together for our 10th anniversary show.
10 years? That's as long as I've been alive.
Yep.
You must make a ton of money doing the show for that long.
Well, not really.
Let me get this straight. You've been doing this show my entire life, and you don't make any money doing it.
Yeah.
Do you at least sell shirts or pins or anything like that?
Well, no, but...
One Little Spice has been around for 4 months, and they have shirts.
I think it's time for bed, sweetheart. Welcome, longtime nerds, to Geek Salad episode 165. The sleeper hears ya, the sleeper don't care. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
And today we are celebrating 10 fun, happy years as Geek Salad. Yay! Yes, that's right. Oh, and we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate. Hey!
Oh, that was a good pop.
That was a good pop. That actually came up on the microphone there. It's awesome. Yes, yeah, we all did our Kermit arms yay, so we're... So, yes, we are celebrating 10 years. August 12th, 2008. Mike Cicerone and I took up space in what is now my son's bedroom and recorded the very first episode of Geek Salad, which was essentially... like everybody else's very first podcast when you don't really have a direct point of view. We did, we essentially, if I was going to say we had any overreaching topic at all on it, it was kind of HBO classics type of movies. But we also talked about, like, that's when Bernie Mac died, and that's when Isaac Hayes died. It was just like, okay, we're going to do parts like this, and we're going to kind of make it a news show. We're going to talk about what we're watching on Netflix right now.
Yeah, that was a regular segment, too.
That was a regular segment for one episode.
I think you did mention it in the second one.
Oh, okay, yeah, barely. Then we introduced Mike as almost like our call-in.
Yeah, in the third episode.
Yep. And then... Uh-oh. We're having an argument here. Those are chocolate chips.
He's threatening me with oatmeal cookies.
But they're chocolate chip
We must rebuild the trust, Katherine.
It's not just the raisins, it's the oatmeal.
Oh, well.
No, okay.
Can't stand the smell.
Really?
Like breakfast oatmeal? Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, really?
My goodness.
Oh. God, it's disgusting.
So, yes.
Smell that, though.
So, it has been an amazing 10 years. I salute this team.
Yay.
For the most part, for the last...
Chink.
Chink, chink, chink. Yes, we're using classic here. For the most part, in the last 5 years, this has been the group. Mm-hmm. So, thank you, Katherine and Joe, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us and inviting us.
This has been an incredible adventure. I make that sound like I'm turning the gun on myself next, which I'm not. So,
well, with Joe, we just invited him the one time. He just kept coming back.
Exactly.
You're going to get rid of me.
Get out of here! Call the cops next time. So anyway, we actually do have a point to this episode. We are going to be we are talking today about the biggest moments and or movements, good or bad. Yeah, the oatmeal and the champagne don't go together, do they?
Well,
Whoa!
no, the oatmeal's fine. It's the champagne it's that alcohol taste.
Yeah, this
is very sweet. This is martini and Rossi.
This is
spumante. No,
this is an Asti. It's not as nice as the Asti I served you guys when my husband and I got married.
Yeah.
This is a more...
This is more off the shelf.
This is more pedestrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plebs.
even like the liquor ads that used to be on in the 80s where they would have like, there was one, remember that Martini and Rossi, Asti, Spumante bullshit? And in the ad, there's like this groovy party going on, everyone's boogieing and having a good time, and the camera's whipping around going, why are you drinking Martini and Rossi? And the guy goes, 'cause it's Tuesday. That's what a wino says. A wino says that. Then the camera whips over to this hot young chick and they go, why are you drinking Martini, Rossi? And she goes, 'cause he said he would call me back and he called me back. See, normally I fuck anything that hoves into my field of vision, but this guy's new in town, doesn't know my reputation as the town jizz jar, and he's going to try to start a relationship, and I'm going to kill a few brain cells and try to blot out the memory of when I fucked that softball team in the abandoned hospital.
The bubbles are smaller.
This is plastic cup Martini and Rossi.
At least we're not drinking out of a paper bag. So yeah, we're talking. We are talking today about the biggest, good or bad, moments and movements in geek culture since 2008. A lot of stuff has been going on, and we kind of alluded to this on our last episode that we have a hot take
That's the
that
hottest
we
one.
need to hash out. Now, let me tell you where I saw this. A couple weeks ago on Twitter, Rob Liefeld, who is the creator of Deadpool
And Cable.
and X-Force,
And the man who can't draw feet.
right, posited a very almost unpopular opinion on Twitter, stating that he felt that Iron Man and Dark Knight were released in the same year, 2008, but that Iron Man is the more important of the two movies.
So I just decided to take all the credit.
That's sort of arrogant and thoughtful. But still, you just killed him off. That's pretty dark. I mean, you knew the guy almost your whole life.
He tried to kill me twice. And haven't you learned yet that if you put your supervillain in prison, they just vow revenge and break out again?
Yeah, that never happens. So after you killed him, what happened?
Well, after that, I had a press conference and told the world I'm Iron Man.
What? Dude! You can't give away your secret identity.
Why not? Because I did, and I'm awesome. So, in your face.
You just can't. I mean, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I like the attention. And you mean to tell me you've never revealed your secret identity before?
No. Ha! Try every girl you've ever dated. What? Oh, I'm Bruce Wayne and I like you. Let me tell you my big secret. Oh, you're one to talk, Mr. Mind Eraser. Oh, don't even. I will freeze breath your face off. No, you won't.
And that is the hottest of hot takes.
That is the hottest of hot takes. Catherine, your husband Joe pretty much was on Team Iron Man for this.
Because Iron Man and Dark Knight came out, and Iron Man was what started the MCU rolling to the colossus that it is today. And DCU...
The Dark Knight led to the Dark Knight Rises, and that's it.
It's not an incorrect assumption. Or it's really not a bad take. Because the evidence is there. It shows what Iron Man led to. We've seen what Iron Man has led to.
Yeah.
But to get down to brass tacks, you can't deny that Dark Knight is the better movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No one is going... I don't think anybody will deny that.
You cannot deny that Dark Knight is... And Iron Man benefited from low expectations.
I agree.
True. That is true.
Absolutely agree.
Because I remember when it came out, we were all like, Marvel is scraping the barrel going for Iron Man.
And typecasting Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Right.
As an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly.
As an alcoholic playboy.
Which they really
who was living under the shadow of his more famous father.
Which is never explicitly said, but...
Right. But...
Well, Dark Knight is a better movie, absolutely, but I posit that Iron Man is a more fun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Just pure.
It's more Iron Man. Iron Man is more of a pure popcorn movie.
And
The Dark Knight is a movie.
There's parts.
No, it is a motion picture.
It is a film.
It is a film. Yes.
There are parts of it that are lousy, like.
The perfectly planned capture and release of the Joker. That's Bond-villian.
Bond-villian.
I mean, think about it. He got captured with the intent that he's going to get rescued.
Yeah.
and havoc will ensue the entire time. I get that.
Yeah, and you know, Batman Begins. You know, the first one was fine. The second one was better because Maggie Gyllenhaal was better than Katie Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But yeah, the whole Joker thing. Things started to get a little predictable, and then you can call every beat in Dark Knight Rises.
Well, and that's the thing.
No, with Dark Knight Rises, not Dark Knight.
Right. Here's how I'm going to break that down. Okay, and I'm gonna really do the long take here. Iron Man, yes, Iron Man. At the end of the day, is the more influential. But there were a lot of little moving parts that had to happen between 2008 to 2009 when Disney acquired Marvel. It was 2009. Yeah, it was 2009. We didn't know how serious they were about the Avengers until they finally wrapped filming in 2011. And as 2012 comes around, it's like, okay, I guess they're serious about this.
Right.
Well, I mean, we knew what angle they were going with it from that post-credit sequence.
Yeah, but the other thing is, too, is that I'm not really sure. I don't really know. Quite honestly, I don't think anyone took it seriously until more movies started to tie it together.
Until The Incredible Hulk.
Right. Well, the Incredible Hulk, but even that was tacked on.
It wasn't until
Iron
Man 2, and then when Captain America: First Avengers came out, you're like, okay, yeah, they're really going to
Captain
go
America:
through
First
this.
Avenger was right before the Avengers, so yeah.
Yeah. But with
I think when you saw the hammer at the end of Iron Man 2, that's when you knew, okay, they are really going all out. They are bringing the full cast for this one.
Yeah, I can understand that. And when Avengers happened, you still sat in the theater and went, I can't fucking believe this is happening right now.
Especially when you think that you would have thought DC would have been the first to do something like that.
Well, yeah,
they would have.
Would have, but
yeah, but we'll get into that in a second. We're not done talking about the Dark Knight yet. With the Avengers happened, and then what happened after that? Iron Man 3, which is, depending on who you talk to, is a hit or a miss movie.
Yeah,
right.
Thor: The Dark World, usually in the basement of people's Marvel movies.
It's my second to least favorite.
Winter Soldier is an exception.
Winter Soldier is among everyone's favorite.
It's number 1 and number 2 in a lot of
right, exactly. Lives. But that does a great job of continuing Captain America. It did not need to continue the Avengers. I will actually say that the movie...
It did get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It did get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, and that tied more into the TV show. I think it was more important for the TV show than it was for the Avengers. But then Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. Guardians of the Galaxy breathed new life into the MCU to essentially just give it like rocket fuel.
Yeah.
No pun intended. It was there. It gave it brand new life. So come 2015, after Guardians is Age of Ultron, and then every movie is off to the races. Every movie from that point on is just amazing. Even the stuff that would dwell in the lower part of your list,
like Ant-Man,
or Doctor Strange. I love those movies.
Guardians 2.
Shut up. Well, I love Guardians 2.
I enjoy it. It's just
I have daddy issues, but I love Guardians 2. So, I think that is Guardians is the movie that, and I saw this. Bob Chipman actually mentioned this today on Twitter, and in the whole rehire James Gunn thing, is that this is the movie that really made the change and really solidified, first of all, a balance of action and comedy within a comic book movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, that's that. And yes, you have a lot of little moving parts that help Iron Man become the more influential of the two. What did The Dark Knight really aspire to? It aspired to winning awards. It is the first comic book-based movie to win an acting award.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still believe that he would have won that regardless of whether or not he died. I am firmly in that camp that he would have won it no matter what.
I disagree mainly because at the time the Academy were pretty much all douchebags still.
Well, yeah.
And it would have depended what else was up that year.
Yeah.
Right.
Who else, I mean.
No, because I think I got to side with Andy, because Heath Ledger was coming off of Brokeback Mountain, but was still getting...
And he was a front runner to win the award that year. Okay, Joe or Mike, so I know you guys have the list up. Who was Heath Ledger up against the year he won that Oscar?
Josh Brolin in Milk.
Yep.
Michael Shannon in Revolutionary Road.
Mm-hmm.
RDJ Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
Right.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman from Doubt.
Okay, so Philip Seymour Hoffman already had won one, so they don't tend to double reward, especially that close to when he won it for Capote.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was in a comedy,
but
Yeah.
I think
it was his comeback year.
Yeah.
And I think if Ledger had not been nominated, he stood a better chance. Josh Brolin for Milk, nobody talks about that.
No.
Well, I don't know. Milk got a lot of love. That Milk
Yeah.
got
Milk won Best Actor and Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
It's also the last time Danny Elfman was nominated for a music award.
It was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for
Yeah.
Best Director.
It had a lot of that going on it, but Brolin is just one character in an ensemble piece.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Michael Shannon was in Revolutionary Road, which nobody talks about. The big thing about that movie is it was the Leo and Kate reunion movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was about it. So I still think he was going to win regardless. But the thing is that what The Dark Knight did was The Dark Knight pushed the Academy to make it kind of like more blockbuster friendly. That's the next year. That's when they implemented the larger Best Picture pool.
Otherwise known as the Dark Knight rule.
The Dark Knight rule, which is ironic because in that entire time, not one comic book movie has still been nominated for Best Picture. In fact, if you look at that next year, Star Trek stood a very good chance of being nominated for Best Picture. It was not. It was District 9 was chosen over that. This was also the Wall-E rule because Wall-E was so good they thought it should be nominated for Best Picture.
I can't believe it lost Best Original Screenplay though.
What did it lose against though?
Milk.
Yeah, okay, but that's is what it is. It's a comic book movie. Yeah. The thing is that the stuff that The Dark Knight set out to do, it didn't manage to complete. Even its follow-up movie. 4 years later, and it's a movie that really is best known for us making fun of Tom Hardy's Bane voice.
Oh, God.
Oh, Mr. Bane, I know. See, you're about to die.
Wait, Gary, are you serious? Pizza? Gotham City is not even known for it. How does this conform with your New Year's resolution? Carbohydrates, sugary tomato paste, processed dairy. I expected more from you. I expect more from my men. I thought we were on the same page with this. We're all going to better ourselves, starting with food.
So, yes. So it's just, I think that because at that point on, after The Dark Knight Rises, they scrapped everything.
Yes.
Nolan essentially is a producer in Man of Steel in name only. That movie has none of his earmarks.
But, and we'll get this into this discussion later, it gave DC all the wrong signals.
It did.
Yeah.
Absolutely it did. It was influential in the
In
wrong
the wrong
way.
possible way.
Yeah, it was fine as a trilogy, but they should have gone in another direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with Superman. But
Yeah,
we'll
but
get into
that's,
that
yeah, we're
discussion.
going to get into that in just a little bit. So, anybody else have anything to add to that hot take?
No, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't think he's wrong. You know, unless you're DC, one of those hateful DC Snyder Cut fanboys.
Oh my God! Stop! Don't Warner Brothers. If you're listening, first of all, thanks for listening. Secondly, don't give in to these idiots.
No.
Oh my God! Don't reward this type. And we're going to be talking about this a lot in this episode. Don't reward this type of behavior. This is the wrong type of behavior. First of all, let me just say one thing. Do you remember how excited all these... I'm just going to call them fake fans. I don't have another word for them. Remember how excited they got when Whedon jumped on board because Joss Whedon fixes everything? Yeah. And now they want the Snyder Cut? Like, that was going to be better?
And honestly, it wasn't 100% Joss Whedon's fault either because they pushed it to be released when it was.
Yeah.
Whether it was done
and
or not.
they weren't going to budge.
Because if they didn't get it out by then, they wouldn't get bonuses.
Yeah, they wanted to keep it on schedule, so the limited reshoots that reduced a lot of the ability to fix.
Right, exactly.
And they also forced him to cut it to under 2 hours.
Because the executives wanted their bonuses.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It was essentially movie by mercenary.
Yeah.
And but these are the same people that were throwing ticker tape parades that Zack Snyder was off the movie.
Now they want it.
And now they want his cut. It's like, why do you want his cut?
It's not helping that he keeps freaking releasing pictures.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, stop, okay?
Nobody else will talk about me.
Okay.
So,
We'll get into it later.
I don't think there actually is a Snyder Cut, though, because...
No, there is. They've already said there is no Snyder Cut.
The amount of money that they would have to put into that movie to take all those partial scenes and get them up to snuff would be way wasted.
Not to mention that, but maybe those idiots who are going to do the remake The Last Jedi can also get on board and remake Justice League.
Yeah.
God damn, this is going to be a lot. Folks, buckle in. It's going to be a lot of this. All right, so let's talk about some of these great geek moments, because we didn't have much in the way of social media. There was one, though, from Chris, from Chris's Cultural Corner, who mentions that he's really excited that Jodie Whittaker is taking up the mantle as the first... female Doctor Who.
All of this is new to me. New faces. New worlds. New times. So if I asked really, really nicely, would you be my new best friends?
But the ensuing fan uproar that, the boobs are going to get away in the way of the sonic screwdriver or something like that.
Oh my god. Seriously?
Oh my god.
First of all, she's British. She's flat as a board.
Actually, she's quite attractive.
Name how many buxom British women you know.
There's nothing about attractive. You can be attractive and flat-chested.
Samantha Fox?
I've seen...
Well, he asked the question.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
Anyways.
She's not well endowed enough for them to get in the way and take it from somebody who knows. Okay,
right. No, I think it's more of a girls can't play baseball type of mentality.
Yeah. And Mike, I'm actually surprised you didn't put this down. The resurrection of Doctor Who in the last 10 years.
Because it really happened before.
Because in
2009.
05.
2005.
Yeah.
05 with Chris Eccleston, yeah.
I thought it was 09.
Oh, no.
05.
Mm-mm.
No, it's
that was David Tennant. Well, that's when I watched.
No, not even... Yeah, that's when you watched, because
2006.
Eccleston was only on for a year.
Yeah. No, 09 I think was, what's his name?
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, yeah.
I think that was 2011.
You don't like Matt Smith?
It didn't... It stopped being Doctor Who and became the Amy Pond Show.
I'm behind you on that one, so.
I really like Karen Gillan.
Oh, I love Karen Gillan. I love her. She did what she could with the character she was handed, and her as Nebula is amazing. I'm not holding it against her at all.
Right.
No. It was a terrible direction for the show to go in, and when they started leading in with the whole River Song nonsense, it was just like, ugh.
That's actually when people kind of started turning on Stephen Moffat.
Right.
Well, the River Song stuff started with Tennant.
Yes, but that was, just as they started the Bad Wolf stuff before Tennant, and wrapped it up later. It was the same thing where they started something.
I love it whenever they bring back
to bridge over.
I love it whenever they bring back a Bad Wolf reference. It always gives me chills.
But yeah, it was the River Song that they introduced. They introduced her during Tenet to lead up to Matt Smith. So
spoilers.
So
yes, we were watching that episode, and she said that, and my husband was like, "I'm done. I am done."
Yeah, and this is also, I told Chris, this is going to also go into our ensuing toxic fan base thing, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Why ruin everything? So on the list here of things that are pretty momentous for us nerds, and this is actually a really recent one that's been kind of going on throughout the last 10 years, is the absorption of Marvel, Star Wars, and now 21st Century Fox into the Walt Disney Company umbrella.
That's huge.
It is huge, and we kind of already...
1 billion is huge. Well, 79 billion.
But now they control almost 3/4 of the entertainment market.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Okay, we kind of talked about how Marvel kind of helped with moving the MCU along. I know Disney's helped the MCU along. Star Wars is in an amazing place right now, where there is tons and tons of content, new, fresh content, with real filmmakers making real movies, and they're writing real books, and they're having this great thing.
And it's all cohesive. It's all right. It all makes sense.
And they're bringing back the Clone Wars.
Yep. And they are bringing back Clone for that one season, so we can just get that one story out of the way.
Wrap it all up, yeah.
But it's one of those things that I would have never dreamed that I'd have a Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah.
I never once dreamed that was an actual possibility in my lifetime. And I think that what Disney's been able to do with, and obviously they've got this marketing machine behind them, and it's Star Wars. It's guaranteed to make money unless you're Solo, and I still think Solo's going to make its money back on the home video rentals.
Yeah.
I think long term Solo.
I think long term it's going to break a profit. It just wasn't what they were expecting, and I still think that's because it was released 6 months after.
And the marketing behind it was very poor.
And it was also released 3 weeks after
Infinity War.
And 1 week before Deadpool.
And I agree, their marketing was just
all
dreadful.
over the place.
When you have Denny's as your fast food tie-in, you know you're doomed from the start. Because the last movie I can remember being a Denny's tie-in was Fan Four Stick.
So what's it gonna be? I'm not giving you Chewbacca. Got Han Solo?
Collect all 12 exclusive trading cards and try a new movie-inspired menu only at Denny's. Solo, a Star Wars story, May 25th.
Oh, God.
Which is a shame, because I thought it was a good movie. I really enjoyed Solo.
I loved it.
I thought you were talking about Fan Four.
No, that was dog shit. Come on.
No, Solo wasn't
You like a lot of movies that we all hate, so, we weren't sure where you were going with that. But yes, absolutely. Solo
yeah, we had a fun time at Solo.
We had a wonderful time at Solo, and I dragged my husband to it, and he very much enjoyed it.
I don't think. The people that liked it genuinely liked it.
Yeah.
I will tell people this though: if you ever think that you're going to call Rey a Mary Sue, just remember, Han Solo had 0 piloting experience, and we're just supposed to believe he knew how to talk to Wookiees, and he can get the Millennium Falcon out of the maw
he flew the Millennium Falcon through
first
the
time.
Castle Run in his first time.
Yes, exactly. Mary Sue. Jesus.
But Han Solo Sue.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
Han Sulu.
God damn it, Mike. So, what do you guys think of this Fox merger?
Well, technically, isn't the Alien Queen of Disney Princess?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Oh my God. That needs to stop. That needs to stop something hard. Corporal Klinger is not a Disney princess. Frank Enfurter is not a Disney princess. Those are movies TV distributed by Fox. I don't think they were made by Fox. They don't fucking count.
Aliens was.
Maybe we'll get the fanfare back in front of Star Wars.
I was talking to Mike about this earlier. I firmly believe that the R-rated branch of the Fox properties that they're going to release, the Alien movies, the Predator movies, anything to that extent is not going to get released under the Disney banner. It will be more than likely, like Mike had mentioned, like a Miramax type of thing, where Disney will release the movie, but it'll be under the Buena Vista Film Company.
No, they'll keep the Fox brand, just like they do with Lucasfilm.
Right.
In front of Star Wars, you don't see the Disney castle.
You do not see the Disney thing.
You
No,
see
see
Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the same thing with the Fox property, the R-rated Fox property. You're going to see the fanfare, 20th Century Fox, and that's it. They're going to the movie.
Yeah, the only sign of Disney is probably going to be in the end credits.
At the end credits, when they say distributed by Buena Vista Films.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
The other thing, too, with this is be prepared in the next year while they're waiting for this deal to officially be final.
6 months to a year.
6 months to a year. I've heard 2019 at the earliest.
Yeah, it's going to go through international...
It's got because there have been holdups.
International approvals and stuff like that. So
I think they're probably aiming for this by the end of this year. Because they are not going to release their streaming service until they get this.
Right. And, that's the thing. 6 months from now is February.
It's August now.
It's August now.
Yeah.
I think, as a comic book movie fan, I'm excited because it means Fantastic Four, X-Men, all the Marvel Fox properties finally have a chance to be introduced. And now you have the ingredients for Marvel movies for Phase 4 and Phase 5 going forward.
Yeah, but there's going to be some shenanigans between the two Quicksilvers.
No, there won't be because Quicksilver, MCU Quicksilver is dead.
Right, but they have the other Quicksilver who
right.
doesn't have a twin sister, and he was born a mutant by Magneto, as
we
opposed to
don't
being
know.
zapped
We don't
by
know.
a magic stick.
No, all we know is that they're bringing the properties. We don't know if they're bringing the entire story.
And
or anything like
I
that.
firmly believe that after Dark Phoenix and New Mutants are released,
They're gonna whack
that is it for the Bryan Singer made X-Men movies.
Actually,
they're done.
You know, if I'm being honest, I would not be at all shocked if we see Dark Phoenix and New Mutants on the streaming service, not on theaters, because
they dumped a lot of money into those. They've dumped a lot of money into those.
Those are going to be the last two Fox Marvel movies before it goes into the MCU, and the MCU is going to be complete. They're going
to show everything, new actors.
They're going to completely new storyline.
Then basically, they're lame duck movies.
Pretty much.
Anything Fox does now until the merger is official is lame. It's lame duck.
That's why
it's going to be lame duck.
I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
No, after what Disney spent on the merger, they're not going to just dump all that money away on the streaming.
They're
going to try to make some of it back.
Right, because the thing is that they've acquired their debt too. They need to make the money back on those two movies.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix will go to theaters, but New Mutants, from what I've read about it, I'm like they might stream it because it is the guy that made it doesn't care about the characters and made such a dog, and there was a lot of
there's a lot of stress on set.
I've heard some negative things.
Right.
Actually, I've heard negative things about both of them.
Well, we'll have to see. It's just at this point right now, it's a wait and see.
But when the X-Men and Fantastic Four come to the MCU, it's going to be all new.
Right. But
the only exception I see to that is Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
Deadpool will be distributed under the Buena Vista Film Company,
and it'll have its own separate thing. It'll make references to the MCU, but I don't think they can't have Deadpool.
I think they would be. Yeah, I agree. You don't integrate him in, but I think they'd be insane.
It'll be like what he does now. It'll be like what he does now with X-Men. He'll make references to the X-Men universe. You might see a cameo to the X-Men to the MCU, but that's it. He's not going to be fully integrated into.
And we don't know where that's going anyway, because who knows? Fox is probably producing a Deadpool 3, and it will still be a Fox distributed.
Well, X-Force,
yeah, they're doing X-Force next. But here's the one thing I beg everyone in this room and everybody listening to just not lose your shit if Captain America doesn't make an appearance in Dark Phoenix, or Reed Richards doesn't make an appearance in Captain Marvel. It doesn't have to happen. If it doesn't suit the story, it shouldn't have to happen in the first place. And just because they can doesn't mean they should.
Especially considering Captain Marvel is going to be taking place in the
90s. But still, you could introduce Reed Richards then.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do something silly like talk about the negative zone.
Not even introduce it. You can do like what Man of Steel did and just have
allude.
Oh, Superman just went through a Wayne Enterprises satellite. Yeah.
So, question: who here thinks that it was Reed Richards that bought out the Avengers Tower?
They can integrate it.
I
was going to say Norm Osborn, but
I think they're going to backwards retcon it and make it Reed Richards.
When they acquired Spider-Man, I thought it was Norm Osborn.
See, I would go with Reed Richards because the Fantastic Four have a lot more overlap with the Avengers than Spider-Man villains.
I think if this deal hadn't gone through, it might have been Norman Osborn.
Right.
But now that this deal is going through, I think it's going to.
And I'll be honest with you, I would expect minimal integration with the X-Men. Minimal.
Yeah.
Primarily
because they've already gone down the road of their.
There's no such thing as mutants.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not only that, but it's also the X-Men and the Avengers don't tend to blend well, and when they do, all they do is beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, because the X-Men are just so overpowered.
Right.
I think the X-Men are going to be in the universe, but just on their side.
Just like the comics.
Comic books.
Yeah, kind of like the Spider-Man universe here.
They have very limited overlap.
But they're doing their own thing.
So, yeah. So that I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that Disney's done a great job with Star Wars. Marvel. I mean, Marvel is one of those things. I think there's a lot of cooks in that kitchen that made that great. With Star Wars, there are a few people that are making great stuff.
Right.
Because with that, it's not. First of all, they haven't had as many movies to do this with.
Yeah.
Marvel is 20 movies in now.
Yeah.
All right. That means that there have been about 15 separate voices, a minimum 15 different directors.
20 or 21 now.
20. Ant-Man and Wasp was 20.
Oh,
and we had this discussion with that guy in the movie who never hung out at the end of a movie before. Still blows my mind, people. But with Star Wars, there've only been a few movies. And the primary people involved with that, within Lucasfilm are Kathleen Kennedy and Joss Whedon, Rian Johnson, and their screenwriters.
J.J. Abrams.
What did I say?
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Okay, I'm sorry, J.J. Abrams. And those voices are making great movies. I mean, there's been some good stuff too. Gareth Edwards did a great job with
Rogue One.
With Rogue One. Ron Howard did a good job considering it was a pickup job.
Considering what he came into,
right?
He did an excellent
it was
job
a very
with
good pickup job. I just find it ironic too, going back to, and I'm not even going to use this as a bullet point anymore. It's just going to be our return to the Kathleen Kennedy hate. This woman has produced hundreds of $1 billion worth of movies, and you think she needs to be removed because your little fifis were hurt, that Luke Skywalker didn't come up looking like the 1995 Power of the Force action figure.
Games Workshop?
He-Man?
Huh?
He-Man?
Yes. Jesus Christ.
The Games Workshop version?
Yeah. And, so she's the problem.
The woman handpicked by George Lucas.
Right.
The George Lucas said, okay, I'll sell you my property, but she's got to run it.
Right, exactly.
She's done Indiana Jones, she's done Star Wars, she's done Goonies.
She's been there for a long time.
And a lot of people are saying, well, she's not a story person. They need a Kevin Feige who's a story person. Well, yeah, she's great at numbers, but Lucas has a whole story department that runs overseas.
Not to mention the fact they're hiring the cream of the crop when it comes to visionary directors that are good in this genre.
Right.
Yeah, and unless she's stepping into the stories and making...
Which is not. I mean,
right. Yes, it's not like, they got somebody bad at stories, Snyder, and put him in charge.
Oh, God.
Right, and then make him in charge of the entire thing, and then wonder why, it comes across like a fart in front of the Pope.
Yes, he makes pretty movies, but he doesn't tell good stories.
I would say they're pretty. They're really grimy and dark and look like they're being rendered right in front of you.
They have a visual
aesthetic.
They have a visual flair that only Zack Snyder does.
Yeah.
The thing is too is that I think when you go back, and I beg everyone once a month go back watch The Last Jedi.
No, I do. I love that.
The Last Jedi is such a. It's not just a good. It's a film. It is a transcendent movie. It is a film. Rian Johnson is a goddamn genius. And I've heard people call him an idiot. He didn't understand the characters. He understands the characters a lot more than you do, fanboy. Sorry it didn't turn out like the way it did in your sandbox in 1984.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when Rian Johnson was announced, I was a little nervous at first.
You didn't like Looper, did you?
Oh, I loved Looper.
Oh, I thought you didn't like Looper for some reason.
But no, I loved Looper. But I'm like, well, Star Wars. This is a little more than he's an independent auteur. He doesn't, this Star Wars. To have for your first mega blockbuster film to be the blockbuster film, a Star Wars film. That's like, wow, that's a huge jump. I'm thinking, I don't know, that might be too much. That might be a little too much for him.
Right.
That he pulled it off the way he did.
Yep.
Mwah.
Yeah.
The guy is a genius.
He's earned his 3 movies. Oh, yeah. He's earned those three next movies. Yes. I can't wait to see what they are.
Because they're going to be so different than what we're used to.
Yeah, they're going to be very different. Like he was able to tell his story, but in the voice of traditional Star Wars.
Yeah.
And still give it a little bit of his own spin, but not go completely off the rails. It was like when Tim Burton did the first Batman movie.
Right.
Right. Everybody. It was the same. Everybody's like, why Tim Burton?
He knew what
the guy who did Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
He knew what his story was. He knew what his job was, and he did it.
And he did.
Yeah. And thank God the internet wasn't around in 1989.
Because even when it wasn't around, I remember the
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what they said in Starlog about this?
Oh God.
God.
Starzine, Fangoria.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, at least the toxic fandom for Star Wars seems to be easing off a little bit with bringing back in Clone Wars and the announcement of what they're going to do with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, and even
because that was the best that I think most people would.
Right. What I don't want to hear people say is that J.J. Abrams fixed fix episode 8.
Anybody complains about The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson screwing over J.J. Abrams?
This was all part of their plan.
It was all part. J.J. Abrams, everything that Rian Johnson answered, J.J. Abrams set up for him to answer the way he
exactly.
Yeah.
And keep in mind too, we were going to get Colin Trevorrow.
Oh my god!
For episode 9, and if you look at Colin Trevorrow's work, first of all, that guy had a lot of studio help with Jurassic World.
A lot,
a ton of it.
I remember when we went to see it. We're like,
wow, there's a lot of money on this screen right now.
I really enjoyed Jurassic World.
No, we enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I mean, honestly, Mike...
Especially because we saw it in IMAX.
The only reason I make fun of it so much is I don't believe it's $1.8 billion of good.
No.
Exactly.
That's
okay.
Wait, I think it was 1.6.
Whatever it was. It beat Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Age of Ultron good.
No.
And Age of Ultron isn't even everybody's favorite Avengers movie.
No.
But it's just one of those things, I think, that we could have gotten Colin Trevorrow for 9, and then maybe, if he didn't have Kathleen Kennedy interfering, she'd still take the blame for it, because, vagina. I know. Hey, it's an unfair world. We just all live in it.
Well, can I make a point about...
Absolutely, Joe. That's the whole point of the show.
Well, no. The thing about the toxic fandom actually kind of brings up another huge kind of aspect of the last 10 years in geekdom.
Yeah. Now I have a mouthful of liquid, please.
that is the rise of diversity, not only on the screen, but within the fandom itself.
Yes. I love the fact that my daughter is not left out of this stuff.
Right.
Wonder Woman.
I mean, when we were kids, if you were a geek, you were the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, and we kept to ourselves.
Yep.
Now
you can wear a Star Wars shirt as a badge of honor now, and not as sorry people, I'm just going off to the library right now. And
I'm wearing my I drink I know things T-shirt from Game of Thrones, and I had a 5-minute conversation.
And everybody knows what you're talking about.
I had a 5-minute conversation with the cashier at Michael's on my way over. And we were talking. She was like,
Oh,
I can't wait till 2019. And we had this long conversation and everything about Game of Thrones.
Right,
and other,
right.
It's
great. Now, on the other hand, obviously, the shrinking white male demographic, and that's the issue that we're running into now.
They're shrinking, but they're getting louder.
That's the issue. They have a louder thing, and unfortunately, the platforms that we use to talk about things and have fun, the Facebooks, the Twitters, all that stuff, they will ban me for saying something benign or pretending I'm Elon Musk before they ban some idiot who, first of all, calls us SWJs or SJWs and then goes off on some Nazi rant about something. It's just, for some odd reason, that's where the whole thing is skewed. I am loving the hell, though, ironically, this whole remake, The Last Jedi. Because essentially, they have raised, what, $500 million, and I'm going to assume it's unicorn kisses?
What is the cash value of a Shroot buck?
Excellent question, Pam. 1/100th of a cent.
So 10,000 of your dollars is worth $1 real dollar?
Just zip your lid.
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin.
No,
fuck Bitcoin.
It's like when I make a pledge to NPR.
I can't wait for those dudes to all go broke.
It's like when I make a pledge to NPR. Yeah, I pledge to give $25. Whether you actually get my $25,
exactly.
Is
you don't get the coffee mug until they get it, but at the same time.
By the way, I do donate to NPR, so don't
I donated a goddamn.
Don't give me dirty
I
looks.
gave them a car. I donated my car to them because I wasn't going to give it to Car for Kids with a K.
Oh, I hate those commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
I turned the radio off when those commercials.
Mike, I will tell you one thing. We'll get back on topic. I know of one hold music that is worse than the Cars for Kids ad, the song. It is the David's DVC rental hold music.
Excuse me.
I dare you. Just call up David's DVC Rentals. They're the broker that we reserve our Disney resort through. And, their hold music makes you want to jump out of a window and stab yourself multiple times in the throat on your way down. It's that bad. There was one last thing about toxic fandom I do want to talk about, though, and this comes back to something Mike and I were talking about earlier. Apparently, this week has been the week where boys in their 20s are upset that Warner Brothers had the audacity to release a movie of Teen Titans Go. Okay. Guys, guess what? It's not for you. It's for my 10-year-old daughter.
Well, no, yeah, it's kind of funny because my sister, Michaela, she loved the original Teen Titans from when she was a teenager,
right?
From when she was in their mid-teens, and she hates Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
she's one of those people, but she understands that it's Teen Titans. It's for the kids. She understands,
right.
So she has no problem with that. She's not going to watch it as long as she's not. She's not going to sit there and throw a hissy fit.
Right.
That Warner Brothers is releasing this for the kids. She just wants them to continue the story of the original
Teen Titans, yeah. I just think it's funny because Teen Titans Go, it's a kid's show. I'll be honest, I get a kick watching it. I think it's a lot of fun, solely because I think in a lot of cases, they do a better job of referencing DC Comics than the Snyderverse ever did. I'm sorry, what is it called? The Cinematic World of DC now?
Worlds of DC.
The Worlds of DC. Fuck you. You're not a video game platform. Jesus Christ.
Well, you know what? I saw the best description of Teen Titans Go is like, it's Deadpool for 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because it is. It references the DC universe. It skewers the DC universe.
Yep.
And they're not afraid to go after sacred cows within the DC universe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's funny because a lot of people, the Robin in Teen Titans Go is Dick Grayson. It's supposed to be Dick Grayson. Well, a lot of people who hate Teen Titans Go hate that because, well, that's not the way Dick Grayson is supposed to be. Everybody loves Dick Grayson. He's not supposed to be a stuck-up asshole. I'm like, well, it's not him.
When you were raised by Batman, you're allowed to be whatever the hell you want to be.
You can say, fuck Batman.
Fuck off. My God.
Well, they had to do that because otherwise people wouldn't know that it's going to be edgy and gritty and dark.
You might see somebody's butt.
Ooh, oh, for shame.
And hey, Black Starfire. All right, let's move on to something else here. Now, I was kind of given some corrections on this. I'm still sticking to it, though, because I still think that it's a cognitive point. Remember before 2008, we used to get comedies, like movies that would gross over $100 million that were just straight-up comedies.
Yeah.
Usually, and when I mean high-concept comedies, I mean like the Will Ferrells. You get top stars to do these comedies.
Well, you think Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, Wedding Crashers. The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
All the good Apatow stuff. I read an article last week, and this is what made me think about it, that the year that Step Brothers was released, which was 2008, was the last great A-list starring comedy.
Hey, man. Do you touch my drum set?
No. It's just weird, because seems like someone definitely touched my drum set.
Yeah, that is weird. Because I didn't touch them.
Hey! Did you touch my drum set?
Hey, knock it off!
I know you touched my drumstick. Because the left one has a chip in it.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
Fuck you, Brennan. I know you touched my drum set, and I want to hear that dirty little mouth admit it.
You get out of my face, or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
You swear on your mom's life that you didn't touch it then.
I don't have to swear to shit.
That's because you fucking touched my drum set, because I know Cops doesn't start till 4. Where are you going?
I'm going upstairs. Because I'm gonna put my nutsack on your drum set. Okay?
If you do that, I am warning you right now, if you touch my drums, I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
Now, I remember the Hangover being really big. Joe, you brought up Bridesmaids, even though I didn't realize Catherine's hatred for Bridesmaids.
Well, it's not my sense of humor, and it's Joe's sense of humor. So
it is my sense of humor.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you went with us to go see Pacific Rim 2, and we saw the trailer for Action Point, I look at my husband, Joe, and we're shaking our heads going, no. I turn to you, and you're laughing like crazy, and I'm like,
I like stupid humor, right?
I wouldn't call it stupid in front of you. I would call it slapstick.
Right.
I do enjoy
gross out
slapstick,
humor,
yeah.
and that is your thing, and you really like it.
A lot of punches in the balls and stuff like that.
If a lot of people didn't like it, there wouldn't be so much of
Right.
it. So
the thing is, though, is that there aren't. I mean, thinking about it as well, like something like Trainwreck, another Judd Apatow film with Amy Schumer. I thought it was a very funny movie. It grossed over $100 million. It did well, but there's so few and far between right now. I get most of my laughs off of watching Marvel movies now.
Comedies really are still I've always been really a niche product.
Well, because
I don't think they used to be.
Humor is so
subjective.
It is very subjective.
But that's the thing. I enjoy having the jokiness in the Marvel movies because it adds levity to what could be just be fucking downers, Snyder.
Yeah, that's the point.
Well,
is that they take you on a true emotional roller coaster, where they get you this really high and get you a little higher, so that when you come crashing down, it's a much bigger fall.
Well, the thing about also part of the kind of the humor in Marvel movies is I kind of equate it to like gallows humor.
Yeah,
like police officers and emergency ambulance drivers have like that kind of. You gotta joke about it, otherwise you're gonna just lose your mind.
Yeah, you're breaking the tension, and it's character-based humor, which is my favorite.
Right.
But like The Hangover, I love the first Hangover movie, but for me it suffers from what I call the Matrix syndrome.
Oh, I mean,
the sequels ruined the original for me. I can't watch the original anymore because of the sequels.
No.
I felt like the first Hangover was a good movie, but it's very much like I feel like the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah,
they're great. Watch it once. 2 days from now, I've almost totally forgotten about it. And if someone asks me, I'll be. I remember enjoying that movie.
I can't quote you a line from it. It's not a not a classic like line quoting movie.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm really looking forward to the Happy Time Murders.
That looks like I said.
I can't wait for that.
I think that's going to go one of two ways.
Kind of movie.
That trailer made me laugh so friggin' hard.
I was like, I got to a point and I stepped back. I was like, nope.
I'm all in.
My hope is
I didn't love Meet the Feebles either, so, and I did watch that.
Never saw Meet the Feebles.
My hope is that it rises above its concept because the trailer really is. The concept itself, the plot of that movie is so in your face.
I think what they're trying to do is with the trailer sell.
So the concept of an adult Muppet.
The thing is that we're within the month of it being released, all of the trailers have essentially been the same shots.
Well,
even the secondary trailer has been the same shots.
There been a secondary
there
trailer?
has.
Yeah, there has.
You subscribe to YouTube Red. Mike, you subscribe to YouTube Red. You haven't seen the trailers. And you brought up something, Mike, about like movies like the spoof movies, like Airplane and Naked Gun.
Well, there hasn't been a really
as of 2008, and even beforehand, I think spoof movies died because they became the epic movies, and the epic movie might have been what killed it. Which, by the way, 2008.
Well, didn't they try to make like spoof movies like the paranormal?
No, people tried to make spoof movies who had no business making spoof movies.
Right.
They have no. They didn't have the humor.
No, they're trying to cash in.
Right.
And
as we've mentioned, Abrams.
Well, Abrams.
Zucker.
He went off the rails.
One of those guys went off the rails. They're not going to make movies like that anymore. When they attempt to, they're awful. I think, and unfortunately, because I feel in this day and age, parody is dead.
I think it takes a very unique filmmaker to handle that correctly.
I think one day we will get one. I'm not holding my breath.
I can't wait for that time because I think
it's going to be a long time before we see.
Well, here's the thing. I think parody now
blockbuster comedy in the same vein.
I think parody is now being confused from being meta.
Yeah,
you think about it. I mean, for the most part, we can say all these inside jokes. All four of us will get them.
Right.
All four of us will get those. Like I watched a thing last night. Lindsay Ellis, who's one of my favorite people on YouTube, did her review of the 2017 Beauty and the Beast. She loves the movie. She loves the animated movie, Beauty and the Beast. The 2017, she's like, thanks, I hate it. Because it tries to get it has to explain away everything.
I really enjoyed it, though.
I felt it was overrated. I enjoyed it, but I felt it was overrated. But she's like, there's a lot of explaining that doesn't just need to be explained because they didn't need... The animated movie is a great movie. It didn't need to explain, like, not everything is alive, you know.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it went very well.
Right. I'm just saying that I think we confuse metaphysical now for parody. When you're doing metaphysical references in movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have on this list here? Who brought up this one? The virtual reality.
That was me.
Katherine, go ahead.
So one of the things that's come up in the definitely within the last few years anyway is augmented reality games, virtual reality games. Like Pokemon Go was nuts.
Oh my god.
It's still kind of.
It's still
it's still there. I still look at people like, you have a pager?
Pika Pika! Squirtle! 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 What the f*** am I saying? No, I mean it! This makes no sense at all! Say the line, Earl, or you get the gas! For the love of Christ, kids, go read a book or something!
You know,
well, it's like people walking around, but yeah, like, I live, when we're out grilling, we have a rail trail right by us that goes, we're right next to a river, and not far from us is a power plant.
Yeah.
So people were getting their Pikachus and goodness knows what other water...
There's Squirtles and their Jigglypuffs and all the other porn names that they had named for these things.
and
Jigglypuff I can see.
Squirtle, come on, man.
And they're
Squirtle
all
over my
teams
boobs.
Go into gyms and stuff, and they were all doing this stuff. Yeah, take a picture of it on my boobs and stuff like that. And so that was, that's a huge thing that people are, and this is something you could do too. Like I could have a pork on the table after we went to see The Last Jedi.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that feature on my Pixel.
That was actually pretty cool.
The one with Jamie doing this little dance with R2-D2. My mom's like, R2 needs some new moves. I'm like, shut up, mother. You'll never understand.
Stuff like that, and then there's they're adding the virtual the goggles that you can wear.
They do nothing.
We went to the Space Needle when we were in Seattle, and they have a virtual reality thing where you can walk around the outside of the Space Needle and look down. And I was like, "Okay, Joe, you have fun with that. I'm going to stand over here and not."
I'm going to stand in this corner until my stomach.
I'm not doing that one.
Yeah,
no. And then the Apex Center in Marlboro has a 2-story Boston-themed zombie shoot 'em up virtual reality laser tag game.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
It is crazy that, and this is kind of the thing that we were told we were going to get in 1994, and we finally have it now.
Yeah. Well, that VR TV show was not even close to what we actually have.
Yeah. What was the other movie?
VR5.
The Net. Oh my god.
The Net. And that was pathetic. VR5.
Yeah.
I
also,
remember that one.
I mean, hell,
where she called people on her dial-up phone and then plugged in and put the
Yeah.
And then you get like that wash. It's like people.
That show didn't make sense then.
I still love that in modern television shows now, when people are on computers, the computer still makes noises when they're typing, and not just like the clickety click noise, but like the screen has like that little chip, 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 chip noise when they.
You don't know the keyboard some of my coworkers have.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, they get.
Get those people. They still have the 24 ringtone on their cell phones, don't they?
I don't know, but they actually get keyboards that are very loud and clack like crazy. And they're brand
the
new.
clacking is one thing. I'm talking about like the actual sound emanating out of the computer is like this, and when it processes something, it makes noises. You obviously don't watch a lot of TV, so
no, I don't. So you'll have, I'll bring in my work laptop sometime. You can listen to how loud that solid state drive is.
Oh God. It's got keys the size of walnuts. Oh Jesus! But the other thing too is mobile games. Think about mobile games and how in the last 5 to 6 years, because everybody uses a smartphone now.
Yeah.
About. Yep.
Just about, yeah.
Not literally. We understand some of you still have burner flip phone drug user people.
Right, exactly.
Well,
I get that all the time. I get old people are like, I must be the only person who buys one of those. Like, no, drug dealers still buy them. But yeah, mobile games.
That is what old people are, aren't they?
That is exactly. Old people. That's how they have to pay for their medicine, by selling more medicine. No, seriously though. I'm sure we all have at least one game on our phones.
I have like 3 games that I actively. 4 games.
Yeah.
I have to, every day I have to go through and do my Words with Friends, Ticket to Rides, Trivia Crack, and Word Streak.
I stopped doing...
Plus the 2 games I played by myself.
I stopped doing most of those. I did, however, just pick up Disney Emoji Blitz. And it was only so I could download the emojis, because I want more emojis to put on things, and because I'm such a Disney nerd, that's just what I want.
But they're cute.
They're adorable. They really are adorable. But it's a Candy Crush game. That's all it is a Candy Crush game. But what else do we have on this list here? Are we done on the virtual reality? Is there anything else on the tech end that really is made?
Justly, definitely, it's become a big thing, and it's a geek culture that's gone wild.
Right. I mean, it is interesting because in the last 10 years, I feel like console gaming is kind of like, I think it's changed enough to warrant a mention. People still console game. People still computer game. We all do it, but I don't feel like there's anything that's really been.
Yeah, they've improved the technology, but overall,
it has plateaued for the most part since the PlayStation 3 because there really hasn't been that much advance in technology in terms of graphics. But you've seen in the last 10 years, you've seen a really big shift towards. On the one spectrum, very much storytelling-based gaming.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, multiplayer gaming is taking over the world. Fortnite. Everybody's talking about Fortnite.
And none of us here can play because none of us use Apple phones.
No, you
can't do it now?
You can do it on console and stuff.
Oh, on console. Oh.
Yeah,
whatever.
But no.
Yeah, it's really huge. I have a lot of my coworkers that work at home remotely are screaming at their teenage children for playing too much Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of gone under the radar, is really kind of underreported in the mainstream media, is the rise of gaming leagues.
That was
Overwatch, like the Overwatch League.
Yep.
I guess they just had their final the Overwatch League just had their finals in New York over this past weekend, and Toucher and Rich, the morning sports radio show that I listen to in the morning.
Yeah, sports.
Rich went to the finals, and he said it was unlike any sporting event. And he's been to the Super Bowl. He said it's unlike any sporting event he's been to in his life.
Yeah,
like people going absolutely insane. And you're talking about video game players earning millions of dollars. From video games.
Oh yeah.
I actually just read a story about Fortnite parents who are getting Fortnite tutors for their kids.
Oh God!
Jesus Christ! All right, you're officially a bad parent.
Well, TJ keeps bugging me because he saw Fortnite. I was flipping through the PlayStation Network, and he saw Fortnite on it, and then he's been bugging me ever since. You gonna download it? You gonna download it? You gonna get it? You gonna get it? Because it's free. It doesn't cost anything.
Right.
He's like, you gonna get it? It's free. You gonna get it? I'm like, we'll see, TJ.
Yeah. The other thing with that too is that I think it's in the last 10 years has been more prevalent is the shittiness of DLC.
Oh, you can
especially EA.
You can blame EA for that.
Yeah. It's all EA. Fuck you, EA. All right, what else do we have on here, Catherine? I think this is another one of yours.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Cosplay going mainstream.
Yes,
way mainstream. Yeah.
It is so mainstream. Like you see ads for conventions, and the first thing that comes up on the website for a sci-fi convention is no longer all the celebrities that are going to be there. It's all the cosplayers who are going to be there, and then they'll tell you about Jeff Goldblum.
And they get huge numbers of followers on Instagram, social media. They're making money off. They're making bank off.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do that?
There are lines. There are now lines at Joann's Fabrics of fabric. Cosplay fabric is now something they sell. That's in somebody's name, so somebody made bank. They sell the costumes, which had already been doing pretty well since the first Lord of the Ring movie. Frankly, they were getting better and better. They had been, I have an excellent Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman costume from way back when pattern, but now you have cosplay. I used to. Except for movie patterns, it was really hard to find official patterns.
Yeah,
but the level of creativity and
it's amazing what you can do now.
Craftsmanship is quality work, like stuff that would give movie costumers a run for their money.
Right.
Yeah. Well, when I did the costumes for the competition for the Star Trek, I had to draft most of those costumes in muslin. Yeah. Based on, I was like, okay, I need this kind of tank top, so I went looking around until I found, swim top that looked about right, and then cut a skirt funny, and found pants that had seams in the front that I could alter and turn into overalls and stuff like that.
Some pictures I've taken at D23 are, those costumes are just
People have
incredible.
always been doing that at sci-fi conventions.
Just now
other
it's
conventions,
more.
but now
it's mainstream.
But now, like other people are aware of it. It's kind of like,
especially within the Star Wars universe, the 501st.
Yes,
Legion is a huge factor in making Star Wars cosplay as mainstream as it is.
Yeah, and it's they've been around for a very long time.
Well, they've been around since the beginning,
right?
But now that they're becoming more mainstream, and I'm going to say normal people have heard. Yeah, the mundanes have heard about all this stuff.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because when we're playing our Disney trip for next year, we're going to be at Hollywood Studios on May the 4th. Be with you. And Autumn is actually seriously considering what can we do for the kids. With Scarlett, it's going to be more, let's just find something that's going to be off the shoulder and climate ready for her without being... Yeah, it's going to be Ray. It's totally going to be Ray. Yeah. Mainly for her, it'll be hair. But like for Jamie, the sky's the limit for that kid as to how he can dress and all that. No.
I have yards and yards.
Well, you don't want to put him in a trash can for
I have yards and yards of Jedi brown fabric that you can have for free.
Wonderful! I might just take you up on that. We're planning on having him do the Jedi training.
Yep.
But if he could have his own robe. If he could have his own robe.
Oh, that's easy. I made a friend of mine's kid his own robe. When I made it for him, it dragged on the ground. The last time he wore it for Halloween, it was at his knees.
Oh wow! So he must really love it.
He loved it, and also I made it out of like this ridiculously durable fabric, and I did it with French seams, so it would be really hard to tear it out.
No, that's good.
I made it for a child to enjoy and wear, like I wore my costumes as a kid.
Right, exactly. So that's, honestly, if my daughter were old enough for cosplay, some of the costumes Autumn has made her Disney princess costumes, that merit a costume. If Scarlett would just stand, put a wig on. Yeah. She'd be a dead ringer. It's amazing, the work you can do. You guys do great work. Because Autumn does it, I have a full appreciation for what you do.
Yeah.
She's promising she's going to make me my own costume, but that would require me to actually get off my ass and go to a convention or something. So, I wanted to do either Moon Knight or Daredevil.
Oh.
Moon Knight would be cool.
Moon Knight would be...
It'd be different. Nobody does.
Nobody does
Moon Knight.
And when they do it the lazy way. Oh, I'm wearing the white suit and the yellow tie, Moon Knight. Fuck off.
Like I always thought, if I did cosplay, I'd love to do Dr. Fate because nobody does Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Dr. Fate.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones I saw at a convention, like at Aregia back in like the early 2000s, was a guy dressed up as a cop with tinfoil circles all over him.
Ah, cool.
He was the T-1000.
Oh, okay. And to this day, the most memorable cosplay I've ever seen was at the one time I went at the Comic-Con, 1999.
Yeah.
So someone dressed up as a Witchblade.
Oh my
God!
As in, that was all.
You've got to be. That was all. You need to be very confident in your sex.
Oh, she was, and she had. She had assets.
I was going to say she had the assets for it.
Yes, she did.
I've seen, like I was in the Costumers Guild for a while, and in case you're into this, listening to this, and you're really into costuming, look up Costume Con.
Yeah.
That's an annual convention from the Costumers Guild, and they have people that are of all shapes and sizes, all interests. You have the people that do like absolutely authentic, perfectly crafted Victorian dresses entirely out of John Deere quilting fabric.
Oh God!
As a comedy joke, because they can.
Yeah.
I was bored. I was sick of making it out of satin and silk, so I decided to go in lawn. So I decided to do something different. The Doughboy is my favorite. Somebody dressed up a Pillsbury Doughboy as a World War I Doughboy.
Oh, nice.
It was delightful.
That's funny.
And then there's the lazy people. I mean, Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Suit and sunglasses.
Yeah.
And a little earpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, you run a little wire to your ear, you're done.
And Mike, getting back to Witchblade real quick, I believe that the word you were looking for was fun bags.
I still prefer assets.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually fun bags does not invoke the perkiness you require to be Witchblade.
Yeah.
Good God.
All right, Mike, will you put the next one on here?
Yeah, I put in that DC has created their own cinematic universe.
And it comes full circle.
Granted, the movies have not been stellar so far. I mean, there've been a couple have just stood out, but most of them have been.
Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
One that's really...
And even Wonder Woman, forgive me for saying this, did not stick the landing in the third act.
Well,
no.
Yeah,
Nobody likes that third act.
Wonder Woman's good, but it doesn't have the rewatchability of a lot of the MCU.
I wish it did, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I tried to rewatch it, and I'm just like,
And then,
I know that David Thewlis is coming up soon.
Yeah, and you fall off at the, like you said, the third act. You're like, this is great. Yeah,
But-
it's like reading Beauty.
But
by
when you
Rob
get back
McElroy.
to that, though, also, is that now that you have seen Justice League, and it's like, all right, so all those straps are what? For her to just tilt her head and go, boys.
Now,
but that No Man's Land scene is pure cinematic.
Oh, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful scene, Mike. That's second act stuff, though.
That's a moment in a movie.
But this DC cinematic universe goes back to the point I made earlier. They took all the wrong lessons from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So what were you two fighting about?
It's so complicated. He thought I was going to kill humans, so he decided to kill me first rather than just talk to me about it.
You were going to kill Superman?
He was going to try. I sort of let him win. Oh, I beg to differ. I seem to remember you lying on the ground crying out for your mother. And what was her name again? Martha. I'm sorry. I need a minute.
I am so confused.
Our moms have the same name. He's really sensitive about it.
Why did you say that name?
Your mom isn't the only Martha in the world, dude.
Your mom's name is like my mom's name. What does it all mean?
But now they're fixing it though. It looks like they are fixing it.
We're gonna, Mike. I'm gonna ask you this as a friend, as your best friend, Mike. I am going to beg you, please tread carefully on this because you have been burned before.
I know. Aquaman. The more I watch the trailer, the more I'm enjoying it. But it does. It's still questionable.
Out of the Aquaman and
Shazam
trailer,
Shazam, I cannot wait for.
I have more hope for Shazam than I do for.
Oh, I'm freaking excited.
I need a second trailer. You know why? I need a second trailer to really know if I'm going to enjoy Shazam or not.
And I'm kind of with you, but you know why? Because the vibe that Shazam gives off is the vibe that Superman should have had.
Yes. Yep. Well, not quite. But close enough.
But the
hopeful, yes,
that hopeful. And I'm one of the few people actually. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I actually thought it was a good movie. It was well done.
I thought there were good elements in it.
But it still misses the point of what Superman is.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
And you didn't need to make a rehash of Christopher Reeve Superman to make. If the comic books have shown us anything, different writers can make Superman be Superman without copying other writers.
Right.
That honestly, I know you guys are not big fans of Justice League, but the reason I like Justice League is because in the end, when he's carrying that building there, that is the Superman I've been waiting to see since the beginning of Man of Steel.
But the problem is
that is the light.
But the problem is that there was enough established that beforehand.
Right. The lead up to that, that one sequence, and I saw the sequence. I know which one you're talking about, even though I haven't watched the movie.
Still want to get you drunk and watch that.
It's that it's trying to force you to forget everything that came up beforehand.
And for a moment, it did.
Oh no, it doesn't.
For me, it did.
The thing is that, he's flying along carrying the building, but it comes off in such a show-off asshole way,
which is
that
not the
really
way he is.
Doesn't help.
Right.
I think it worked for me.
The biggest issue I feel with how they got Superman wrong was that he did it because he had to, not out of any sense of duty. It's just like, fine. David McClane.
That's the way.
David McClane brought this up beforehand.
I will do this because I am the only one.
Not because he wanted.
They treat altruism like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Superman has to be altruistic.
And the thing is, and I hate to bring politics into it, Zack Snyder is a known libertarian and Ayn Rand follower.
Yeah.
And he tried to infuse Superman with Randian and objectivist ideals, which does not work for Superman.
No, it doesn't.
No, he was created by a couple of Jewish boys.
Yeah.
So
Jewish immigrants.
So Ayn Rand is not right.
So when in Man of Steel, when Superman goes to Lois, in my world, that's a symbol for hope. It falls flat because there was nothing leading up to it to let you believe that this was that this is somebody you should put.
There was nothing. There was no story behind anything. It just seemed like it was decisions made in the moment.
Right. There's
Right.
but
I mean, I'm just going by the trailers.
Yep,
obviously, it does look like they've acknowledged that was not the correct path, and they're trying to shift.
Right now, whether or not
there's fun in the Aquaman trailer. There's a lot of fun in the Shazam trailer.
Yeah. Aquaman also they finished filming last year, with exception of a few reshoots. That movie is still dyed in the wool Snyderverse.
Yes. But it's also James Wan.
It's James Wan. I understand that. I'm not.
James Wan has a proven track record at improving failing franchises.
Right, but there's a big difference between Fast and Furious and the DC Cinematic Universe.
That's been established
difference.
For
my bigger concern, I feel this is going to be very similar to Wonder Woman. I think they're going to bring you into a world, and then when you leave that world, all of a sudden you pray to God you're going to get that No Man's Land scene because you know at the third act, Patrick Wilson, who looks like an idiot, that just could be bad CG, it could be bad makeup, whatever. It's just like, why are we afeared of this man?
Right, Black Manta should have been the primary.
I just think it's funny that
Black Manta is going to be Doomsday.
I hope not.
They have a cave troll,
and see, and that's another thing is Man of Steel came out in 2013, a year after Avengers.
Yeah,
they had time to. The problem with the DCEU is it felt crammed in. Man of Steel. All of a sudden, after Man of Steel was supposed to believe that Batman has been active in the DC universe, and all of a sudden he's going to hold a grudge against Clark. There was no.
Yeah, they're not earning the beats.
They're not earning the beats. Like
they're trying to copy. Yeah, they're trying to copy the Marvel beats, and they're not earning them hard enough.
Right, exactly.
But they're like because they feel like they have to catch up too fast.
They gave Superman and I understood a lot of the criticism with Man of Steel, and my hope was with Man of Steel 2 they were going to do a course correction and show us what Superman that he learned from this. That
they may still be doing that.
But the problem is, right? They may
still
be
honestly,
doing that.
Mike, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't think Man of Steel 2 is going to happen.
But they by shoehorning by all of a sudden going from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman, there was no chance to redeem Superman.
No.
I just find it funny that Joe, the DC guy, is not the one. I'm the one that's defending DC.
And that's the thing that kills me because Superman is my favorite hero.
Yeah.
He is like I said during our DC versus Marvel episode. He is the alpha of superheroes. He is the guy that everybody's supposed to look up to.
Yes.
And Snyder turned him into an asshole.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did what I thought the impossible. That not even Richard Donner could do it. Or was it Richard Donner in Superman 3?
Richard Lester.
Richard Lester could do it.
Yeah. I kept arguing. I'm like, Marvel was doing so well. DC should have been like, okay, we don't got this. We're just going to keep Smallvilling, Arrowing, Flashing, Supergirling,
and
because
even
they are, in my
the TV shows are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But what I'm noticing is because they're all in the CW, they suffer from CW don't cancel shit. So they're starting to get to this point now where they're getting tired.
Yes.
They don't cancel them early enough, so what they do, they let them linger beyond the point of their expiration date.
And then they start rehashing old episodes, old ideas and stuff like that. It's like...
Yeah, I gave up on Supernatural this year.
I gave up on...
And I've been watching it since day one.
Yeah,
I gave up on The Flash this past season.
Yeah, same here. I love the Flash. I love the Flash TV, but after last season, I was like,
another Speedster?
I can't do the Speedster of the year again. I can't.
Yeah. I will say, for Justice League, I will say that Barry Allen almost carried it.
He was really good in that.
He was...
Ezra Miller did a really good job.
Yeah. Well, my husband Joe loves Flash.
Oh, I love the Flash.
He
too,
doesn't. He's
but-
never. We tried to. We watched the show for a little bit.
Is
We
he-
couldn't get
is
into
he-
it, but he loves the Flash character. He knows a lot about the whole thing.
Is
and
Joe a Wally West Flash or a Barry Allen Flash?
He's a Barry Allen Flash.
Everyone should be a Barry Allen. Fuck these Wally Westers. Come on.
Well, no, I'm a Barry Allen Flash guy, but
He was-
the Wally West people are hardcore Wally
They're
West
motherfucking
boys.
Tim Drakes.
What about the,
I like Tim Drake.
What about the Jay Garrick guys?
They're dead.
So, what else do we have on this list, guys?
YouTube and crowdfunding have become outlets for creative people to really showcase themselves.
I agree. I think that's been a big thing. I hate... There are certain movies I feel can be crowdsourced to an effect if you're not looking for anything more than just keeping it within your venue.
But I think if the quality of content on YouTube is actually very good.
Oh, yeah.
There are more... I think that there are so many people I watch exclusively on YouTube now. The majority of the TV I watch is essentially what I stream off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Lindsay Ellis, Nostalgia Critic, Bob Chipman, What Culture. All of these things are just really good outlets for my interests.
YouTube gave us the first successful and really good quality sequel to Karate Kid.
That's true, they did. I still won't watch it, but...
And long before that, The Guild.
Yeah?
The Guild was a YouTube.
Yeah, and even some stuff, like, I know that, like, Donald Glover got his start on YouTube before, moving on to stand-up comedy and everything. And that, he actually introduced us to people like Ellie Kemper and other people from Second City. So, I mean, it was definitely a good thing. The crowdfunding...
And the funny thing is, these YouTube people are becoming celebrities in their own right.
Right.
Especially within geek culture.
Within our circles, they are bigger.
That geeky cooker girl, the one that she's got her own line of cookware that you can buy.
Yeah.
Shapes, cookie cutters and stuff that you can buy at Michael's.
I was amazed to find out that my friend Brian Dermody went to college with Lindsay Ellis.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, he actually shows up in one of her videos in the Showgirls episode. He shows up and I'm like, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, grab my phone and Brian Dermody, I like having nice tits, ? And he's like, oh, you finally watched that. I mean, yes, I finally watched that. And I said to myself, is that Brian Dermody? But yeah, I mean, I think that stuff's great. And you got guys like Brad Jones, who's the cinema snob. He funds his movies through crowdsourcing. It's, pretty much to sell them at conventions and stuff like that on Blu-ray and DVD. And most of his stuff are like spoofs of Christian movies. Like he's got Jesus Bro.
You're only one of the biggest YouTube atheist celebrities in the country.
Well, a real atheist wouldn't brag. We simply teach by displaying our superior lifestyle and informing others of their terrible life choices.
Oh, Rick, are you okay?
Okay. Alright, can we just end this?
Are you sure you want to do that?
Who are you supposed to be?
Who do you think I am?
A hallucination brought on by a drunken head injury?
You cut deep, Rick.
What do you want?
I need your help, Rick. What we need to do is send you back to Earth, use your internet celebrity, and convert millions of followers!
You expect me to go back to my fans, tell them I had a near-death experience, hallucinated, and talk to Santa Christ?
If you could be less of a condescending schlub about it, that would be preferred.
And Jesus Bro, too.
They're so easy to spoof, too.
Yeah, and he's another one. Go and watch some of the cinema snobs on these hyper-religious Kevin Sorbo movies. They're hilarious. But yeah, I mean, the thing... Crowdfunding is a weird thing in and of itself anyway. I apologize. I don't tend to donate to crowdfunding just because I'm poor.
I used to do it a lot.
Yeah.
I can't afford it.
Well, you can't afford it,
I have
yes.
other things I need to give
Yeah,
my money to.
I got bigger priorities.
We were a single income family. I can't do that. So, it even when we become a double income family, I still won't be able to.
Well, it's like
so.
I've got friends that bike for the Pan Mass Challenge, and I've lost many friends to cancer. So
yeah,
and then there's of course politics. So I've got to give my money to candidates I care about.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean,
I got kids and a 2-ton paperweight I got to take care of.
You were so happy with that paperweight, though.
I am.
I mean, one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And what happened? Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
Yep, you funded that.
Yeah,
you
I did
fund
help fund that. We just lost John Schnepp, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace.
I did not realize he was director of
Metalocalypse.
Yeah,
he was one of the...
Really?
One of the-
I love that show, too.
He was
I
one of
like
the
to tell
primary
it to a
directors.
half hour.
Joe owns that on DVD.
Yeah.
He was also
Toki. I love Toki's my favorite character.
He got one of his starts as editor on a Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Oh, nice.
And he actually was he was a voice on a couple of episodes of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Nice.
I mean, when after he died, Adult Swim put a big old splash
nice.
page saying, John Schnepp, 1957 to
67.
Wow. Yeah, Metalocalypse was better when it was 15 minutes. The half-hour stuff. Oh, God, come on. But yeah, no, I love Toki. He's just so whimsical and fun.
He is. He's so fun. Because I is good and you suck.
So, alright, so what else do we have on here? Alright, the advent of affordable music and movie streaming services.
Netflix.
Yeah, remember when, Netflix has been around forever.
Yeah, but I remember when it was just DVD.
Right.
Yeah.
10 years ago is really when they, actually no, it was 8 years ago when they really turned the page. And all this...
The first episode of Geek Salad.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, though, in terms of streaming... When they announced their price break structure, which was grist for the mill for like 3 weeks, they improved their streaming service to the point now where we stopped getting the DVDs.
Yeah.
Other than the fact I hated just having them collect dust while I'm like, I should do something about that.
Yeah, I canceled that too.
Plus another...
I never had that.
You know what? Another
I
great
did.
thing...
I just
for
only
years.
Yeah.
Another great
I went to
thing
Blockbuster.
about these streaming services is they're also giving us high quality programming.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best stuff on television now is through the
on
streaming services.
And they also give us hope for stuff that may not work out in mainstream media.
Yeah.
That maybe that get canceled.
Well, I mean, just look at the...
Arrested Development.
Yeah, but even still, I've gotten through 10 minutes of the first episode of this current season.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I mean, just look at what happened with Andy Serkis's Jungle Book movie, Mowgli.
Well, that movie, I think they lost their distributor, I think.
No, Warner Brothers got cold feet after because of
the Disney
one. So they sold their distribution rights to Netflix.
And at least with that, they're not worried. They don't have to worry about losing their investment anymore.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know how the hell they're going to spin that. I mean, as long as it's not like, oh, hey, let's watch The Ice Princess. It's not like Frozen, but the characters look the same.
Dude, the cast on this one is
the cast
massive,
is amazing, yeah. But they've been talking about this movie for 3 years also, and it's finally getting released. But like stuff like Glow.
Oh.
Glow would not have a mainstream audience had it
No.
not been for Netflix. I don't think Stranger Things would have the same impact as it does on Netflix as it would on like Sci-Fi.
It would be tight. I mean, the Runaways on Hulu?
Yeah.
That series is fantastic.
And for like anime fans like me and Mike, Netflix gives us a ton of anime.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, we got Crunchyroll,
Right.
Funimation. I mean,
there's so many. There's BritBox for stuff that my wife likes to watch. Hulu's got some great stuff on there. And even if it's not just for original programming, just being able to go back and watch old TV.
Oh, hell.
Hulu,
right before I came over, I was watching Animaniacs.
Yeah.
On Hulu.
Yep.
You know what I was watching on Hulu?
What?
Home movies.
Oh, man.
Jeez, I remember that one.
And the original squiggly one, not the cleaned up version.
Oh, God. Oh, like the Dr. Katz type of?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
I don't know.
I loved it. Because
I enjoyed those, but...
No, because they actually... When they re-released it on Cartoon Network after so many years, when they released them in HD, they got rid of all the on all the episodes. They got rid of the squiggly lines. I'm like, this doesn't look the same.
I think that
Coach always bugged me on that one.
But even still, like some of the streaming services, like something as illegal as Showbox. Showbox affords me the ability to watch stuff that airs on the BBC the very next day. We've already watched, Joe, because I know you'll be excited because you're probably coming up on season 4 in about a month of Poldark. God, we've already finished it. We've already finished season 4. It's all on Showbox. We just, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's great, too, because the BBC announcers at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was an emotional roller coaster. I think I need a cuppa. Coming up next.
I do love those BBC announcers.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're awesome. There was like one guy, because they alternate between a woman and a man, and then last week's was like, right, now listen up.
Well,
BBC One.
I listen to the BBC World Service at work, and it's the same thing. It's like, I find them so soothing.
Oh my god, that's the best way to listen to the news.
Yeah, Christopher Titus had a funny thing about that. It's like, Satan is coming back to the world, and now the World Cup match.
And today's cricket scores.
I have no idea what those.
Yeah, they're also the only people that can actually pronounce the names of multi-syllabic countries, where you don't know if there's too many vowels or too many consonants in the name.
Azerbaijan.
Or their own
Azerbaijan,
or towns within their own country.
Right, exactly.
Although they do
on Stratfordshire, even upon Tyne,
they do add an extra syllable to aluminum, though.
Yes, aluminium. All right, and then the last thing on the list here that we didn't even talk about music.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's always been a Pandora. There's kind of always been a Slacker radio.
I remember Napster.
Napster, yeah.
That Metallica decided to get rid of because they wanted another golden
boat. Yes. I think Spotify might be some of the smartest money I pay every month. I love the ability to just listen to full albums without having to go out and buy them.
Yeah, I don't pay for Spotify yet, but I listen.
No,
you can get a lot of it. You can
still get a lot of content just with the commercials and the inability to.
Well, no, I'm a member of Prime. I have Amazon Prime,
right?
And they have their own music service,
streaming
service.
For the most part, they're virtually the same thing. They really have most of the same catalogs. Even Apple Music is the same way now. You can subscribe to Apple Music and get the same type of thing that Spotify. I am aware. I'm just making a point for our Apple using listeners.
And I also love iHeartRadio.
iHeart's a weird one.
I like Rock Nation.
Okay.
Their identifying spots are really hilarious.
When I joined the gym, I started using IHOP because I wasn't going to pay for a service. And I'm like, it's not bad. I tried Pandora. Their workout mixes are garbage.
You just got to
you might get two good new metal songs, and all of a sudden it's why the fuck am I listening?
Yeah,
to
I'm not listening to playlists. I'm listening to live radio.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm listening to either Alt 92.9 Boston.
Yeah.
Or I'm listening to Rock Nation.
Right.
Because they have funny things like my girl finally found a test she couldn't flunk, the EPT test. And that's one of their. They've got a lot of good stuff like that. Another one, Joe's favorite is my husband's favorite is it's a good thing we don't have to hunt for our food anymore. We don't even know where tacos live.
But even still, look at the medium that we're doing right now, podcasts. Podcasts have become huge in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure, we're not really riding that gravy train, but a lot of people are. Every wrestler I know has got their own podcast. Every side character in every TV show has got their own music podcast. I listen to Are You Talking R.E.M. R.E.Me with Scott Aukerman and Adam Scott, and it's just two funny guys talking about music. There's so much stuff, and that's thanks to apps like Stitcher, iTunes. Again, they do a really good job with that. And all the stuff that we're going to talk about when we actually go to our closing housekeeping. Alright, and then lastly on this list here, we kind of brought this up. This is a last minute ad, but I just had to talk about this based on a story that launched today. This garbage wave of nostalgia reboots, the quantity over the quality. Because, Mike, tell us the story that you heard today.
You are not talking about the Alf reboot in this, are you?
Yeah.
Come on, that is pure gravy train gold right there.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Remember Alf? He's back in pod form.
Make it stop.
There are some really good reboots of stuff from the 80s and 90s. I'm not going to say any of the television that's come back out in terms of reboot form. So Roseanne was one. They're trying to bring back Frasier.
It's going to be white collar Trumpism.
It is. It's white collar Trumpism. Yes, exactly. What was the other one that came back? That actually, Will and Grace.
Oh, yeah. Will and Grace is hilarious.
Okay, I just have a feeling it's what more is there to say?
Not true.
I
will say, as far as 80s reboots...
Fuller House?
For me...
Oh, yeah, Fuller House.
For me, the best 80s reboot so far, Voltron.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll go with the best 90s reboot I've seen thus far is DuckTales.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, DuckTales is phenomenal.
My kids love DuckTales. We were all sitting, all four of us, sitting in the living room watching the premiere of DuckTales. And the second that the Scrooge's enemy,
Glumgold.
Yeah, Glumgold. It's like, he thinks he's so rich. It's so Scottish. My wife spat her coffee out.
You know what? I will, and kind of as a tangent to this, I will say the quality of cartoons these days. Is top notch.
Yeah.
In terms of storytelling,
I think that in terms of cartoons made for kids,
one of my favorite cartoons right now on Cartoon Network is Steven Universe.
Are the crystal gems, we'll always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven!
it's beautiful.
I love that show.
I think Gumball is
Gumball's hilarious.
Awesome.
It's one of the funniest
My
shows.
kids love We Bare Bears.
Yep,
Mike, you're reaching out to me.
Well, the greatest thing about all these cartoons that you guys are mentioning is that they're designed for kids, but there's enough in there that adults can.
The story of Steven Universe story is way deeper than just a little kid's tale.
Absolutely,
so it's wonderful that people are actually greenlighting stuff that kids are understanding that kids are capable of watching these kinds of things.
Kids aren't idiots.
People have forgotten what
they
were like as children, and so they think that kids only like dumb stuff.
And the thing is, Steven Universe is one of the gayest shows
I've
ever seen.
Doesn't he have two mothers?
Well, no, he has his mom. He has a mom and a dad, but a lot of the majority of the crystal gems are female.
Yeah,
and a lot of them are very much.
Yeah.
A lot of it's based around gay relationships.
Right. I think that, I agree with you. I think that a lot of that animation, especially Cartoon Network, has done a fantastic job with that. Even, going back to Teen Titans Go, I think it's great for kids. I think it's great. There's enough for me to enjoy it. I can sit there and watch and go, come on, turn this shit off. This isn't like Paw Patrol. Oh, God. Where there's usually 5 minutes of original animation, and then let's cut to them going into their boats now. I am so glad my son outgrew that show.
The Big Hero 6, the series isn't too bad.
I haven't seen that. We haven't watched the Tangled series yet either, though. But.
Actually, John made me watch the first episode of that. It was really good. They got back Zachary Levi and
Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to full circle with Disney again.
Dude, Zachary Levi's star is massively on the rise.
Yeah,
and he's.
Well, I was a huge Chuck fan, so I'm happy to see that.
And he's still keeping in touch with where he came from, too.
Going back to Disney real quick, because we should really wrap this up pretty soon. Yeah. Going back to Disney, have you guys found yourself, especially in the last 10 years, this may just be me, looking down your nose at any animated movie that isn't a Disney movie? With a couple of exceptions, and I'm mainly, by a couple of exceptions, I mean Lego movies.
Well, I generally tend to give DreamWorks theatrical releases a lot of kind of leeway.
Yeah.
But for the most part, non-Disney, non-Pixar movies, I automatically assume as second-class citizens.
But that's the thing.
The Lego movie was wonderful.
The Lego movies are the Lego movie
was so unexpected.
Well, Warner Brothers Animation has actually had a pretty good run. Because they released Teen Titans Go. Yeah. And that's got really good reviews.
Got really good reviews. No one's going to go see it. But the Lego movies, I almost don't count as animated movies because they don't look like animated movies. Because they look like
stop motion, stop motion animation.
But when you look at, especially in the last 10 years, you got to admit, DreamWorks has a template, and that template, first of all, starts with their poster. Here's your main character with their cocked eyebrow. Go back, look at every DreamWorks poster in the last 10 years.
DreamWorks template is Madagascar movies.
No. Well, then there's Universal's got the Minion stuff.
And then Sony's got Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, and it's just, these are movies that my mother puts on for the kids to just entertain them and get them out of her hair. I won't show those movies to my kids. The only real thing I will show them outside of Disney at this point is Aardman. And you get a movie like that every 6 years.
If you're lucky.
Actually, there is an animated movie coming out this fall, winter by Sony Animation That looks really, really
Well, that's
good.
a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. Let's be honest, Mike. Does it really count?
You started bringing it up, and I knew exactly which one you were talking about.
Yeah. But, like, because I remember a couple months ago, my mom was taking the kids to the movie, and she's like, I think they'd like to see Peter Rabbit. And I'm, like, thinking in the back of my mind, no fucking way do I want my kids seeing Peter Rabbit. And I looked at the thing, I'm like, oh, hey, same time, same theater, Early Man is playing. I think they'd like that because my kids like Shaun the Sheep. Boom. Crisis averted.
I can almost guarantee in that Peter Rabbit movie there was a scene of, like, oh, you don't want to eat that, that's my poo.
Yeah, I'm guaranteeing they did that. So...
I know, I've got a coworker at work that his kids love that movie, and he's got Peter stickers on his computer.
I was first made aware of the movie by Diva, who hosts Musical Hell, also on YouTube. And she's like, what in the green shitty hell is this? And I put on the trailer, and I'm like, this can't be real.
Oh,
this cannot be happening. James Corden, your star is on the rise. Why are you doing this? Why are these woodland animals shaking their booties?
Because happy feet.
Not sing.
Yeah.
Sing.
Sing. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Yeah. So that was a fun way of ending the show.
I thought we had one more thing we were supposed to talk about.
Oh, our 10th anniversary, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, yes. Guys, thank you. Again.
Yes.
Good conversation. Christ, I'll try to edit that out. Yeah, man, 10 years.
Unbelievable.
Wow. I can't believe you've been here for almost... I was thinking about 2013.
Yeah.
Episode 90 is when Joe showed up for our Halloween episode. Yeah. Catherine, do you remember what was your first official... You guessed it once, and then you came back.
You guessed it that year. You guessed it
I
twice.
guessed it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guessed it on the Marvel vs. DC, trying to be the female voice, and the problem was that I've only really read X-Men, so my knowledge was very limited. And then I came on for something else. Was it the it was like the vampire one or something?
Yes, it was the vampire episode.
And that was...
But I think sparkling.
Yeah, I think that might have been in the episode.
That was the episode. That was like your tryout, I think. Because after that, we were like, we need to keep her.
Yeah. Was that when I told my Star Trek Wrath of Khan story?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was apparently like that one. You guys lost it for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, yeah, we're just
you're in.
Yeah. Mike, what was your first official episode? When did you officially become a full timer? Because you were a part timer up until I think episode like 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 11 or 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was 16.
Okay.
Because that was the prequel episode, I think.
Yes, I think that's when we officially kept you on.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the Mike Cicerone's official last full time episode. But Mike did a lot. In the early days, Mike was a big driving force on this show. I'm sorry he wouldn't be here tonight.
I think it was our 100th episode was like his last.
No, he was here. It wasn't his last full time. Mike had dropped. He pretty much had dropped out for a number of reasons prior to that, but he kept coming back.
Episode 52 was our first MST3K.
He came back for MST. He came back for the 100. Yes, he hosted the 100. For a while, he was doing the summer episodes. And then, he was here for a video game fails episode earlier this year.
Yep.
And he wanted to make it tonight, but he just couldn't get out here. So, Mike, thanks for being part of this. Thanks for being the driving force to help me create this show and coming up with the name and all that fun stuff. And it's funny, too, because we don't even really have, fully sophisticated equipment now. We have a snowball mic, which is, the most sophisticated thing on this table right now. And the first episode, I had bought a podcasting microphone. The issue was that we had bought two of them. They had the headphones and then the Judy from Time Life thing branching out of it. When we plugged both of them into the computer, we found out only one worked because for some odd reason you can't split left and right channel on a PC. And this is back when we were using the Dell. So we actually took one of them off, just flipped it upside down and spoke into that mic. and then we bought the stick mic, which actually had to use the microphone jack. Yeah. And the problem was there was a thumping sound.
I remember that one.
Yeah. So for the first 25 episodes, there was this little like.
You know on Robot Chicken, the robot humping the.
Oh God!
Yeah, it was like
that. It was like that.
Clank.
It was just weird. And then for Christmas, Autumn bought me the first snowball, the silver snowball, and it was like, oh my God, what a market improvement! It plugs into the USB and it sounds good. And we've been using that ever since. We've been through 5 computers in that time.
Yeah.
Originally we started on the Dell. We had the...
and then the Dell died.
Yeah, then we had the the Dell I can still turn on. It's that fucking HP I've crashed 3 times.
Oh yeah, isn't that the one that completely wiped
It's
out?
in the office right now. It hasn't been touched in 3 years.
Yeah.
2 laptops, and now we run everything off a Chromebook. So, yeah.
Cheaper.
Oh, way cheaper. I love this thing. This thing is amazing.
Well, except when it stops recording.
Yes, exactly. But people don't need to know that because we're going to do such a good job editing that out. But yeah, this has been great. I mean, I don't know what the next 10 years holds, really, at this point. Let's look at the next 5 and just be optimistic if we will make it that long, because 15 years is a long fucking time. And I don't know. I'm going to be 56 years old if we make it to the 20th anniversary.
56 years old, still talking about this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Fuck those fans. They still haven't remade The Last Jedi yet. And thanks to Trump, unicorn farts actually is currency. He's a robot. He's a head on robot legs right now.
It's like an episode out of
Futurama.
Yeah.
Rough. Oh my God, yeah, we need to do another Simpsons episode just because. But speaking of next episodes, this is one Mike and I have been meaning to do for a while. Every year we do a Disney show. And every year we've kind of run out of ideas. So what we're going to talk about next time, and this is not going to be a countdown because, oh my God, it'll be an arduous task. We're going to cover the live-action Walt Disney Studios branded movies. Okay, that means you cannot include anything with the Touchstone banner, with the Hollywood Studios banner. Don't be a smartass and throw a Weinstein Group or Miramax thing in there just because Buena Vista Entertainment released it.
Pulp Fiction!
Yeah, exactly. No, you know some asshole's going to be like, actually, The Rocketeer is one of those. Rocketeer is a Touchstone film.
Yeah.
It does not count. But
Clerks!
Yeah, Clerks.
Clerks is a Disney movie, people. So don't be worried about Deadpool.
There are so many foreign films with full frontal nudity that were released by Miramax that... so we're actually talking about the Disney Studios movies, which I think started with Treasure Island, right? I think Treasure Island's the first official.
No. Well, I mean, the first one was like Fun and Fancy Free or something.
No, Fun and Fancy Free is considered a Walt Disney animated... It's part of the 57.
Yeah. All right. We'll.
Well, what we're going to do is, Mike, you don't need to look this up right now. Mike and I have agreed that what we're going to do is, prior to recording the episode, he and I are going to do one of our Geek Salad hangouts, and we are just going to list off by decade all of the qualifying movies in this, and you, my friends and listeners, can pick the ones that you like the most if you want to talk about them. There's a lot of shit.
I've got it all printed out. It's about 10 pages. Although, it's a mixture of...
Right. It's staggering. It's staggering how many there are. We're not going to talk about all of them.
From space?
Oh, yes.
The computer wore tennis shoes.
Yes. Unidentified flying oddball.
Which mountain?
Well, it's you know what? Because it brings back so many memories. Because I remember when I moved to Acton and we got cable and Disney Channel was what part of the basic cable package.
Yep.
And all the Disney live movies got so much heavy rotation.
Yes,
The Cat from Outer Space.
Return to Witch Mountain?
Return to Witch Mountain.
But the Apple Dumpling Gang. But we're also talking about the stuff from the 90s too,
so
like Tim Allen is the Shaggy Dog, also starring Robert Downey Jr. As part of his plea agreement. So
I did recently watch the original Shaggy Dog.
Yeah.
Just last Thanksgiving.
Well,
wow.
Technically, their first
The Nutty Professor.
Technically, their first live-action movie was Song of the South.
Oh boy,
oh, we want to forget that one.
November 12th, 1946.
Nope. All right, so we're going to be talking about that. If there are any that come to mind, please let us know. You can email us at geeksaladradio@gmail.com.
Are we counting victory through air power?
No, we're not. We're also available to chat with or post on our Facebook page, which is Geek Salad Podcast, on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. You can also check out our full archive at geeksalad.podbean.com. Stream our stuff anywhere. You can stream it on our YouTube channel, so please don't forget to subscribe and be notified. Click the bell to be notified. That also includes Mike and mine and Julie and John's tour through the Disney parks and resorts.
Yeah, we're still trying
to figure out when the heck we're going to do our Disneyland. By the time this recording, it should be up.
Yeah.
At least
Hopefully.
Disneyland, and then we're going to go into the resorts for one episode, and then they'll be done, and then we do other things. Also, you can get our the audio from our shows there as well. You can also get us on Stitcher, on Google Music, on Spotify, on iTunes. Am I forgetting anything, Mike?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Okay. Also, and also the Podbean app. So don't forget, and that's actually where you get the full download, not just the last year's worth of episodes. Yeah. So if you want to get into the deep cuts, there's some good stuff on there. And I think for episode 200, we might just have our top 20 countdown.
Yeah.
We've earned it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So. Boy. So anyway, until next time. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth, be nerdful, and happy voyage, morons.
Willie hears ya. Willie don't care.